Okay, welcome everyone to another fabulous opportunity of interviewing in the Voices of Awe space here. I'm Elizabeth Williams. I'm the founder of Awe Partners, and I am with Raheen Fatima, who is an amazing 13-year-old young woman from Pakistan who has accomplished more in her 13 years than many people achieve in an entire lifetime. And I am just honored to be with her today and so excited to share all of the initiatives that she's involved in. So welcome, Raheen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I feel very honored to be here and to be introduced like that. Thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, recently, I believe it was recently, you received an award for 25 under 25 extraordinary women of Pakistan by The Little Art. Can you tell us a little bit about what that award was for and how you received that?
That was basically because the Little Art Organization, they're an art organization and are promoting art and through different things like theater and filmmaking and so many other things, right? Now, I in the story is like pretty short, but randomly one day I'm like, you know what? I never know how it is filling up an application for an award, and I just go on. I'm like, this is actually about contribution to the society, and it's for women, and it's for the ones under 25. I'm like, oh my god, that's like so perfect. How would it be if I ever get the award? I mean, like ever in like in coming like 15 years or something. And I continued and I got this email, and then I got interviewed, and then I got another email, then I'm on the wait list, and then I got another one that was saying that I won the award. And so because it was in the contribution to the society, to the community of Pakistan, and as and I feel like all the other 24 women along with me are also doing. I mean, we have people from space, people who write, people who have their own businesses, people who are the best footballers. We have like so many people around us, and it's just so nice. And I'm the youngest of them, so I'm the youngest of them all as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we all have like a lot of love with each other, and yeah, so we have this group and we talk about it, and I feel very lucky to be one of the 25 in all over Pakistan.
Oh, that's incredible. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, the other thing we have to touch on right away is that you are the youngest professional stand-up comedian in Pakistan.
Yes.
So tell me about how you got started in comedy.
Oh, that's like really interesting. So basically, I had this event in my school. I wanted to perform because I am a very big drama queen. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a very big drama queen, and I'm always casted in a lot of dramas, a lot of theater plays in my school already. But I wanted to do something on my own that was about me, and I went to my dad suggested stand-up comedy, and we couldn't do it at school. Maybe it wasn't a school appropriate thing like stand-up comedy, and then I went ahead and did it at an open mic. It was amazing. The crowd cheered. I'm like, oh my god, this is working, and I was 11 at the time. So it's been 2 years. Then I performed more. I performed at the Pakistan's National Concert of Arts, which is like a big deal to perform. And I also performed, and I'm so proud of myself that at age 11 I performed at my own show. Like people paid to come and see me. So yeah, and I am now with Comedy Square Pakistan, and we do shows in Islamabad. I take part in the ones in Islamabad. So yeah.
Now, I read something that said you started because had your brother gotten sick and you wanted to do something that would make him laugh?
It's very natural because now my brother, when it was about I think 3 years ago. Yeah, he got diagnosed with blood cancer. And he was really young. He was about 2.5 years old at that time. So he was like very young. First one in the family. And because I was like my parents, I had to go away to my grandparents' house. I mean, they live like across the street though, but it's moving houses. And my mom and dad were at the hospital. My like end of term was going on, and it's just like, oh my God, what just happened? What just happened? And then by the time I reached my final exams, my brother was in the intensive care unit. He was in the ICU. And, it's just like seeing your sibling there is like terrifying, it's like terrifying. I was just crying. I'm like, what is happening? But then I feel like crying won't help. I was like, if a 3-year-old in front of my eyes can be like this, then I'm old enough. I'm like 10 years old, that's like 3 years ago. So, and I was like, you know what? I'm never too young to die. God can, just take me back anytime. You know what? I'm going to start right now. I cannot wait until I'm 18. I got very emotional though. And turned 11, started this beautiful thing. And I am like, oh my God, it's like not even been 2 years.
Wow.
Completely. So.
That's amazing. Amazing. The other thing is, it sounds like you've always had a lot of support from both your mom and your dad.
Yes. And adding up to what I said earlier as well, I always wanted to do something different. I mean, for a time I wanted to be Captain America. For a time I wanted to be Tooth Fairy. I literally was like, oh my God, I'm gonna wear tooth around my neck, and oh my God, I'm gonna be a Tooth Fairy. And things were not so beautiful when I realized that I can't be one. But it's the thought that that kind of counts, and I really wanted to be somebody different, doing something different yet very impactful. So yeah, stand-up comedy was the one that I started with, and then so many things.
I think you are a superhero, so it's amazing. It's amazing what you're doing. I'm curious, living in Pakistan, is it unusual for a young woman like you to have so many opportunities and to be able to have so much freedom?
It's very the thing is that going out for women is hard, and to all these opportunities to come in, it is considered a taboo. And I am like, at times I was like, oh my God, why don't I have so many women around me? I mean, and I feel that me being an 11-year-old at some point starting stand-up comedy, me being 12 doing that, and even now doing that, and women in fields like stand-up comedy, in fields like entrepreneurship, women are coming up now, and feels like teaching, feels like a lot of fields, it's like in general, but I feel like they are coming up, but it is hard to just get out when there's so much in the news. You see so many things, and you just hear so many things, and you've got so many articles that are like bursting up your phone. You are scared, but I feel like going out and doing the right thing is important.
Oh, it is.
And having the right having the goal set. You can't just keep working until you find something that you might like. You have to set your goal, but let not be it like very, very specific. Keep it a bit vague, and it'll get specific with time, because we cannot just decide something way ahead of time. Like the child is born and like, he's gonna be a doctor. He's gonna be a doctor. So we can't really do that.
You are so wise and so brave. I'm in awe. So let's talk about entrepreneurship, because you mentioned that, and you are an entrepreneur, or in fact a social entrepreneur. Can you tell me about how you started to pursue that avenue?
It was actually right after my stand-up comedy. So the thing is that I did my first ever informal venture when I was 8 years old. So yeah, I had been doing some things. I learned nail art, and I literally just put up a stall, and I had people coming in, and I earned good money. out of that.
Don't you have, let me see your nails.
Oh yes, I always have nail polish on. There's no way that I am without nail polish on. And then I did, and this is very interesting actually. It's a backstory as to how it all was in my mind already. When I was 10 years old, I actually wanted to start a slime business. I saw like people love slime. I can make slime. I can sell it to people. I can earn money. Okay. Now, one day I take all the orders. The other I, deliver it at the school. And interestingly, one of my teachers saw. She got me to the principal's office, and there I was being interrogated. Why am I doing business activity in school, which is seriously prohibited? I never knew that because these things, taking money and giving something was already happening in school. But it was just that the teacher saw me doing something big. She got me. I was almost expelled, for some time, like, you're expelled. But then she was like, you know what? I changed my mind and I feel that you deserve a second chance.
All right.
And I was like, you know what? In school, I'm never going to do it again. Like, really, in school, I can do it first outside of school, and then I can expand my business to places that have banned me from doing my business. But yeah, and then boot camp for entrepreneurship. It was at the end, I see that it first started that I was like, oh my God, I've got this like tech savvy and business mind. And, it's like those days. I asked people at the National Incubation Center to please let me in because I was 11 years old, 7 years younger than I could ever come there. That's like 18. And they were like, to all, because I was begging them to let me come in. So they were like, you know what? I think you're like really desperate to come in. And okay, if you come up with an idea, you pitch it in our next cohort, you're in. I'm like, oh my God, because I don't know even if that was legal for them to say it, but never mind. It was because I was like 11 years old and letting somebody, it was just, that thing was just very much empowering for me at the first point. Now I came up with an idea. Not even 4 days. 4 days later, I make the pitch deck and I present it to the person. I'm like, you know what? You should hear the idea first. And he's like, you really did all of that in like 4 days? I mean, I did my market research. I went to places. I recorded stuff. I put together pitch decks, which was hard because I also had to add numbers and so many things. And the next thing I know is that we're rolling.
Wow.
And I got shortlisted. And as soon as I get shortlisted, I'm like, dude, this is actually happening. And actually, and I have no shame in or no embarrassment in saying that, but I did not get in there with that idea. But a day before I knew that, they don't want me in anymore, was the day that a business actually wanted me to be part of their team. And that business got into the same cohort. So I still got to go to the orientation. I am still incubated at the incubation center. So I feel very happy, It's like a dream. I'm like, oh my God, I'm at the orientation. Oh my God, I'm at the show and tell. And that idea basically is a healthcare idea. And that's something that I have joined as their chief, I'm their communication managers basically. So that's my job because I talk a lot. So yeah, it helps. And now I have another idea that is basically a substitute for polythene bags because they've been banned in the area that I live in.
Say that again. What's been banned?
Those polythene plastic bags?
Oh yeah.
Right? So they've been banned in the area that I live in. And after a few accidents with paper bags and a few broken bottles, I realized that we need some serious substitutes, right? And I came up with an interesting idea, which was which I cannot share right now because it's not been launched because of this COVID-19 virus. It would have been launched a long time ago, but uh, what happens happens, right? So that is, and I am working on another idea. Well, I'm actually working on two other ideas along with my team and my people that I advise all the time. So yeah, it's
So
all very beautiful, you see. And I feel like being independent, women being financially independent is really important.
yes,
And that is what I am working towards.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, so that's amazing. What I would love to hear a little bit more about is school for you, because you are involved in so many other things. I've got you listed as ambassador for a community building game called MeWe, which binds communities together in a playful manner. You're a member of MindPlore, a dialogue group of learned scholars from around the world where all the professors are above 50 years of age except for you. Amazing.
Yeah.
You conduct online interviews of national and international personalities. To this point, you've conducted over about 150 interviews. And then there's also this IdeaGist, a US-based digital incubator working in the Pakistan startup program, and you're involved with that, it sounds like, as well. So
Yes.
you are involved, I don't know when you sleep, but you are involved in so many amazing things. And I'm curious, have you just always loved school and learning and been curious, and why has education been kind of so important to you?
I feel like it's been very important because as a child, that was one thing that I really enjoyed being in class, because I was the kind of child I would start crying if I missed school. Okay, that I know I am a very unusual child. That explains how. And because it was the environment, a lovely environment where we're learning together, we were talking together, we're gossiping at times. At times we're learning about some things that might not be so necessary or so useful in life. But it's all about, I say this all the time, it's all about the thought that counts, with all the lovely thoughts, with all the appreciation. I feel like that is something like an environment that I've been wanting to work in. Now, as for school, when I started, and I do so much, and I'm so proud to say that I still binge watch Netflix. I still do that. So God knows where I find the thing to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know myself, honestly, but it's in my school. Everybody is very supportive. My teachers, my principal, my school fellows, my friends, they're all very interested. They watch. All of them congratulated me on my award. All the teachers, and there's actually teachers that always make my professions and my researches and my stuff very relatable to the class. No, so it's like very interesting, and I just feel very special being around, because as I know that I'm a child. I'm like 13 years old, and I feel being in that environment that you loved in is something that a child always seeks. Because if people do not respect me, care for me, or love me, I would not be comfortable being in the environment. So I feel like that's something that my school has provided, and I continue to study because I feel like it's a good environment, and I get to implement all these things that I'm doing here in my school as well, and what I'm learning at school in my real life, because now I question all the time in class. At times even I annoy teachers, that why am I learning this? I'm going to use this in real life. At times they do have answers, at times they don't, but I understand that. But so yeah, it's very interesting. And
Raheen, do all young girls in Pakistan have the same educational opportunities as you've had?
honestly, no, because I am very fortunate to go in a very good schooling system. I do not go at the public school, I go at a private school. It's one of the most well-known school networks of Pakistan. So I feel like I have a lot of learning opportunities, and it's only in our schools, the private schools, that you have activity-based learning, that you get to play around as well, and you also get to see how things in action, what you learn in action, because that's just important for learning, I feel like. and concept-based learning, because in other areas in Pakistan, I'm not gonna like really focus on one thing, but uh, it's like all other schools, in mostly other schools, especially public schools in Pakistan. First, they need a lot of improvement as to the buildings, because the buildings should be very, engaging themselves. They should be very, they should be communicating to you. They should just be speaking to you. So I feel like a colorful building could be the first thing. And second would be, because in Pakistan, especially how science works is that you learn definitions and then you give the exam. You learn, the teachers speak out, you write down, you memorize all the answers, and the kid knows nothing about what they studied. I've actually asked them questions as to how does this happen, thinking question, and they're like, "Sorry, we did not memorize that in school." And I'm like, but I feel like it's actually there's so many children out there, and of course everything has room for improvement. So I really commend all the teachers, all the principals, and everybody, because I don't want hurt anybody, but I feel like there's always room for improvement in my school, in any school in the entire world. No school's perfect, as you can.
I would love to talk now about your initiatives as a humanitarian at this young age. And I'm curious, you talk a lot about your involvement with the Sustainable Development Goals. It says you are a Kid Youth Ambassador at the Sustainable Development Goal Academy, where you help youth learn about and participate in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm curious, how did you get involved with that?
Okay, so it was one random day, I'm like, SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. My dad was like, you should actually research on this. And I researched and I researched and I reached the right people. And because I have a very big friend network, so I got a lot of people already that were working on the SDGs. And I'm like, nice, I could go and learn. Now I go frequently there, and everybody's like, oh my God, she's like really coming in. And then on actually, in fact, New Year's Eve last year, I was made the ambassador. I mean, I spent like the New Year celebrating.
Oh.
And Sir Amar Joffrey, who's heading us with the SDG initiative for Pakistan, he basically announced me as the Kid Youth Ambassador for the SDGs to spread awareness. And like 2 days later, I give him a video, and then another. So I basically is that when I start doing something, it's like not like I forget it behind, but I have to keep it going, or I just say, I'm sorry, I can't do this, right? So now that I think of it, how do I do it? But yes.
I don't know how you do it all. Tell me more about, it's okay. You talk about International Children's Month and conducting children's sessions on peace, love, and respect and care for all children and children's rights. So it sounds like your focus area is really on children and children's rights. You talk about you've done, I think, acting performances around underage marriages, child abuse, gender equality. Tell me what you're passionate about and what you'd like to see change.
I honestly, so first with the International Children of World is I was even with them today, all the day since morning, and now I got with you. So basically, in International Children of World, we do panel discussions with the youth, and we discuss the love, care, and respect of children, and how that would impact peace and unity throughout the world. It does, and I really believe in it. Now I am their brand ambassador from Pakistan, and I work with them, and it's amazing. Heidi, little shout out to you, girl, because you're amazing. And yeah, we literally just we met in July, and now we're doing so many things together. So there's a lot to come for International Children of World, and in fact today, the 24th of November, we have a global wave of love for the Amazon, because there's been many fires. So interesting. And we've talked so much, and if you guys might want to go and check this out, you can just go to my page and check what I do as well. So it's not that I'm target marketing or something.
No, that's
So
great. And let's make sure we
yeah.
have that. I'll make sure to have that link attached to the video. Yeah.
Okay. And for the second part, now I was born into the kind of family that watched films. Whether going to cinema, we always had Netflix. As soon as the day that Netflix was actually available in Pakistan, we got it. So that's how desperate we are for the films and for the entertainment, yet meaningful entertainment, not just watching anything that you get, but it's we really as a family work together to filter it out. My grandpa, in fact, he used to travel miles to just go to the cinema and watch films. So that's one thing that he does. He still does. I mean, he watches black and white films like Shabnam Nadeem Beg films. They're like very old actors now. They're probably in their like 60s, 70s now.
Oh no.
But so I feel like I'm very fortunate to be from a very open-minded family when it comes to entertainment. And I've always wanted to be on TV, always wanted to be on like the bigger medium and conveying the messages. Nowadays, there's a lot of entertainment that's like pretty standard entertainment. I mean, we need some innovativeness and innovativity, whatever that is. Oh, my pronunciations.
Innovation.
And creativity, and we also need meaningful entertainment for the children, especially because I feel like that is important. Now I work towards theater because as I was doing stand-up comedy already, it's the last time this time that I did my plays. So I was offered a role. It was nice, and I did it. And my second drama is where basically I put all my focus to topics like child abuse, topics like underage marriages, to topics like gender equality. So I feel like it's very important. Now, with the child abuse, I feel like if I just go there, out there, and I talk about it, people would not listen. In fact, in Pakistan, it is a very, very big taboo to even talk about topics like child abuse or talking about any sort of abuse at all. So I feel like theater being a medium just kind of like made it like a very light-hearted conversation in a way. And the children, so we actually took like a very small tour in Pakistan, and also we also did it in the area that we already live in. It was very interesting, and we had I because I speak three languages, and we had other people that speak them too. So because we had the languages intact, so we could actually also do it in other languages, like talk to them, explain them. And we had a puppet play that was asked to how to prevent a situation that might lead to child abuse, how to say no to certain stuff, how to just recognize when things are slightly, when there's tension in the air and when there's awkwardness, how to just, keep it to yourself and just continue, right? So I feel like that's really important. And also, if something like this has already happened, then what to say to your parents, because your parents might shush you up and they might not shush you up. So let's not prejudge at all, right? So actually, there were children that had situations like this before, and now they know what they do. So I felt like that on the top of the world or something, because I'm like, if it's just protecting one singular child from all the hundreds of children that we performed in front of, I feel like my job in the world is done. I am so done, because I feel puppet plays, theater plays, they're very they're in sense of communication, they're very strong.
Yes.
They're very light-hearted, and when there's plays happening, the parents won't say anything as to what you're talking to my child about. Is this wrong? But when you're just really targeting about, oh my God, if you're using the words that might not be so appropriate to talk about to children, and if you're using the kind of words that parents do not like their children to hear, there are many words, right? So if you go on, explain, because in the heart, a child who might have gone through this, who might have felt maybe in any situation the discomfort and the your sense of being uncomfortable, they would understand.
Yeah.
So I feel it's very important to educate our children. And when we talk about education, I know educated children, especially, we're like, okay, so it's like the ABCs in the 1, 2, 3, and you talk about your head, shoulder, knees, and toes and stuff. So that's not, it's part of educating, but education can be about educating about them, about how the world is, as to how things are working, as to how climate is or the weather is, and talking to them. It's not that I really go in with like the technical terms. Have fun terms, make terms up, and talk to them about even serious topics at times, as child abuse, because you need to talk at some point to prevent it.
Yes.
So yeah.
I'm curious, Raheen, if you were to have the opportunity to educate adults today, and what you
I
would,
would love to do so. I would love that.
and what you would like to
But
see
I've never
change.
really had like adult students in class. I mean, I've had some people that were like from the age of like 16 to 21, but never older than that. So
But
yeah.
I'm curious if you had a message that you wanted to share with adults about the state of the world and what you'd like to see change so that we leave a better world to your children and your grandchildren. What would you want to say to adults?
I would want to say one thing to all the adults out there. If you consider yourself adults, go in and listen to this. So I feel like, and I'm going to talk about the love, care, and respect of the world, of everybody in the world, of every living creature, and that too includes the trees, that too includes our Amazon, the lungs of the world, the heart of the world. You see, it's important because at times we take in the love, we breathe in the love, but we forget to breathe out the love, right? And we wouldn't want that, would we? So especially with the children, when you love them, when you care for them, yet being very respectful, oh, they can make wonders happen. I mean, my dad dealing with me is like so respectful, so caring, and so loving, because I have my mood swings since I've become a teenager. And he's so kind. And you have to be kind in general. If I am doing something very great, if I am doing something great in your perspective, it doesn't mean that your child will do the same, or the children around you will do the same. Maybe they want to be something else, right? So do not set your expectation according to what I've been doing, right?
Yeah.
So and thank you so much. And it's like being adults is hard. I know you have so many responsibilities. You have a business or a job. Basically, you have bills to pay. So I feel like taking care of the world's youth is something that's so energetic, that gives you energy. I mean, I've been up this morning doing this, so I feel like it has that effect. And take care of all the things around you. Love them, care for them, and respect them. Thank you.
Wise beyond your years. You are amazing. I am so honored to know you, and I look forward to seeing what comes next for you. What is your goal? What is your dream? Any idea? I know you said that you don't want to set that path exactly, but what would you love to achieve next, Raheen?
Okay, I feel like one thing that I would like to achieve next is that's actually a tricky question, because there's a lot of things going on in my life.
Well, don't feel like you have to come up with an answer now.
Okay, one thing I can share is maybe embracing the cultures of the world and introducing them to, there are certain cultures that are just so beautiful. So it's probably introducing my culture and the specialities of my cultures and traditions in the world around me. That can be anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you'll come back so we can learn
Yes.
more about what's coming next for you. And again, just honors, blessings to you. You are amazing, and we're just so happy that you spent some time with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was so much fun being here with you. And honestly, your questions were so good because I had interviewed a lot. A lot of people still, I have my spam inbox and my inbox and it's all filled. But I feel like the research that you did was just so amazing. So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
researching me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, hon.